NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Beer Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Pearlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Getting a little noise on your end, Pearlo, so just mute yourself when you're not talking. Mute you there. Quite a bit of noise on your. We're waiting on Rico, but that is my fault. I'm running a little bit behind because I am household 6. Today was garbage day and everything else under the sun. I just saw Rico's best bet tweet. Thank you for retweeting. Good to see Salty and Darkness. Yes, your Wings are back in the swing of things, much to the chagrin of New York Islander fans. How about that win by the New Jersey Devils against the Winnipeg Jets? That's a good win. Maybe New Jersey's not dead there. Pearlo, you can unmute yourself when you need to talk.
Yeah, that was a good win by New Jersey coming off that Western road trip. They looked really good. Probably one of the best games we've seen them play for a while. So who knows? They're a weird team. They win in bad spots. They lose in good spots. They lose against teams they should win against. They're a weird, very weird team, New Jersey.
Yeah, I love this new feature that the NHL website is doing with their scores. It's telling you how many live games there are, like right then and there. There are 11 games today. Here's Rico. Again, Rico, my bad, but you don't need a link from me because you're an admin. You guys can log directly into the thing. Pearlo was here before me, so like right now it says there's 7 live games. Also, we've already said this on this show. I think if you're discounting the Nashville Predators at this point, you are delusional. I would not want to play them in the West. They are going to play a really good team, and they are working the Panthers tonight 3-0, working them. So that is intriguing. Also,
and I didn't have the balls. I didn't have the balls to bet it, even though I took them. I didn't have the balls to bet it. Did you bet it,
Nashville.
Rico?
I took Nashville. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know what, Bobrovsky stood on his head too. He made some big saves, and Lankinen made some amazing saves too. Like you're saying, Beard, I don't want to face Nashville in the playoffs. The forwards are big, they're heavy, they don't get cheated. Nashville doesn't get cheated. They finish their checks, they stay on the puck, they stay on the man. They don't blow by guys. Like Nashville plays a playoff type game. And Castro and Yossi assists. It's like death and taxes.
I'll tell you what, man. I think the people, these hockey pundits, not naming names, Justin Bourne, who are discrediting teams that they're not watching. And they're not watching the Predators. I can promise you and every fan that tunes into this show, between the 3 of us, we're watching all 32. I watched 4 games this afternoon, and I also watched the last 30 seconds or in television time, 75 minutes of the Oakland University of Kentucky game where Kentucky lost to Oakland, which
that's crazy.
I told you guys about my bracket where I had it was just auto-filled because I just picked a bunch of random things, and it had Kentucky in the finals. So my bracket on day 1, the national champion I had, is done. I heard 11% of brackets were good after already some of the upsets that they've had.
That went down to 0. That went down to 0 after the Kentucky loss. Everybody's bracket got busted.
I don't know if it went down to 0, but I bet it went down to like 0.1%. Somebody always does like 80 brackets and picks every different team and whatever like that.
Some guy from Oakland, right? Some guy from Oakland and just threw a couple bucks on it and said, this is my team. And you know what? I'm taking them to beat Kentucky.
So this is Oakland from Michigan, I think.
Yeah.
Because Salty is saying that he's 30 minutes away from him, not Oakland, California. That coach that's been there, I guess, been there 40 years.
Salty picked Oakland?
Yeah, wow. He said he picked Oakland. There he goes.
For you, brother.
Yep. So Salty's bracket's not dead. Well, Salty's pick on that game isn't dead. Dude, the safest bet ever. You could say, everybody give me $100 and whoever wins the bracket wins a percentage of the money. And you could probably get 1 million people to do it for you, and you'd make so much money. It's the biggest money-making thing ever. So let's just recap real quick. Rangers, I thought Rangers looked good. They had Jonathan Quick in net too, which, Shesterkin's been playing good. Shows you the Rangers did not care about this matchup against the Bruins, and they care about another one. Flyers gave Carolina everything they could handle, and Carolina got a late goal from Travis Konecny scored a late goal to tie it up to get points for Philly, but Seth Jarvis in overtime. That was a great game. Philly played tough, man. Again, Tortorella scratches Couturier. That story won't go away. I wonder what the other thing is. Islanders. Oh my God, Islanders! Your season can't end quick enough, right? And then, like I said with Pearlo, the Devils 41 shots on goal against the Jets, 19-4-1. The Devils look good. Blues work the Senators. They're not dead. Predators are beating the Panthers right now. Sabres are up on the Edmonton Oilers. And we just got Blackhawks, Ducks underway, Canadians, Canucks underway, and the 2 late games, Seattle Kraken, Vegas Golden Knights, and the Lightning and the Sharks. And I did a little format change with the scoreboard. I put our socials and stuff at the end. So Jordan's excited. Flames aren't playing tonight, Jordan. They're the only team not playing. Oh, I mean, we have all but like what would we have if we had all 32 teams, 16 games, right? So only 10 teams aren't playing tonight. So yeah, Kraken, you need that. I don't know that the Seattle is going to play upset here. Darkness, we'll see. So it'll be interesting. Did you guys have any other bets that you hit on or that you wanted to talk about?
I laid off that Bruins game. I got to Jake DeBrusk goal prop there, which was nice. So that kind of hit in that first game.
What was that? Plus 5,000? What'd you get?
DeBrusk is plus around 320 or something like that. But then I got the Seth Jarvis goal prop. This guy's been on fire lately. It took him till overtime to get it, but he still got it. And I was worried about that Islanders-Red Wings game, man. When the Red Wings went up 1-0, I was watching that game mostly because I was just like, Detroit, man, don't F me over now. And all of a sudden, Mike Riley came in over the blue line and took a wrist shot and it went right through Reimer's legs. I'm like, oh, my God, here we go. So it was 1-1. Thank God Detroit got up, but they still let in a couple later ones, but the one that surprised me most tonight was the Jets. I mean, New Jersey put over 40 shots on the Jets, and it just felt like they weren't even up for this game. They were bobbling the puck around. New Jersey looked like the faster team. So, I mean, credit to New Jersey for coming out and playing a solid game there. My best bet of the night, the Blues. They covered in Ottawa, and Jake Neighbors got a goal prop, which was my best bet from last night. So I'm happy so far. I ended up betting the Sabres after talking to you guys last night. I took the Sabres in this game against the Oilers too, so hopefully they keep it going. And
I had the under in the New Jersey game. I wish I would have had the balls to take Nashville, but I also had St. Louis as well. So we're going good, going pretty good so far. I had the over in the Boston game, just barely got
same.
Done. Yeah. So. Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad so far.
Yeah, the only one that kind of hit me in the props market a little bit was Tyler Toffoli. I thought going into New Jersey against his former team, I bet a couple Tyler Toffoli props. I thought maybe he would show up tonight for New Jersey, or for Winnipeg, but he didn't.
Yeah, I didn't prop anything. Like I've been laying off props here a little later, and kicking myself sometimes. I'm going to start getting into it a little more, but I've been kind of laying off props.
I think they've been a little more consistent than trying to pick a side lately because I don't know, man. This is just I know it's a little bit of a predictable time where teams that are playing teams that are out of it, they're playing for draft compensation, and the teams are trying to get into the playoffs. So usually you should be able to nail that side. But I mean, you get games like this tonight, Nashville and Florida. A lot of people are on Florida, but listening to you and the Ice guys today, I was thinking Nashville too. Then I saw that Yuri Saros wasn't playing. I'm like, Lankinen, I mean, great goaltender too. So I'm glad I ended up riding with Nashville too. But if you asked me if the Florida Panthers would even get one goal tonight, like I never thought they'd be shut out at home coming off 2 losses, especially a Florida team. But one thing about Florida is they're better on the road. They got a losing record at home. Just remember that with the Panthers, man. They're a road team.
Yeah, they just played a lot of hockey, so I kind of, and Florida's a great team. Kind of wish I would have bet it, but I'm hitting a lot of other stuff, so that's good. But sometimes you don't make a bet and you kick yourself for it, and that's one of them.
He's having a great year, Salty. Yeah. Panarin's having a great year. He's having an unbelievable year. He looked like crap in the playoffs, and he worked his ass off in the offseason. It's completely evident, and he came in to make a huge difference, and that's what we're seeing here with Panarin having 40 goals.
Yeah, he went through a bit of a lull there where he wasn't playing good 5-on-5, but he's right back at her now. So he started out great, then went through a lull. Players do that, but he's playing really well right now. Absolutely.
The top lines is where it's at, man. It's like Nashville, that top line with Forsberg and Nyquist. Like, those guys are on fire. Like, what a fit. I mean, you got all these top lines in the NHL, and they just need to be doing that in Toronto too when it comes playoff time. You know, their top guys got to be showing up when it counts. So, I mean, that top line in New York, I mean, has been steady all year because of Panarin's resurgence, man. I don't know what he did with his hair, but the bald Panarin is a resurgent Panarin.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you ain't gonna get an argument out of me. Yeah, he's worth his contract. I agree with that statement, Salty. So I have the jerseys up above, and I failed to recognize this yesterday, and I should have said it. Yesterday was Robert Gordon Orr's 76th birthday. And that is a Bobby Orr jersey next to a Mark Messier jersey. And, you know, I wish that Bruins game would have been a closer game, honestly, but I listened to the Nesson broadcast today, and, you know, they say when you get old, you slow down, but I didn't know that your speech patterns could slow down, because Jack Edwards, wow, man, I hope he's okay, because he reminds me of a little bit. Did you guys ever see the movie A Major League? And when Harry Doyle, aka the legend that is Bob Uecker, the name of the character was Harry Doyle, but was played by Bob Uecker in the movie, passes out drunk or whatever, and that sidekick Monty is like, fly ball, caught, like, really, like, paused. That's exactly what Jack Edwards sounded like to me tonight. I wonder if he's all right, man. I've heard fans say stuff before, but I was just curious.
Yeah, and I watched that broadcast. I think it was the last Boston game as well too, and just like slurry and long-winded with his words, sort of, and not putting like long like sentences together and stuff. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. So I mean, hopefully there's nothing underlying there with him, but he didn't sound the way I remember him sounding. So
yeah, Salty. Bob Uecker is a Bruins legend. I believe he still called games for him. I think he's been doing it for like 65 years. He's like in his mid-80s. Clean living.
I do believe that character was based on Harry Carey. I do believe that. If I remember reading that, it was based on.
I think the character is based on Bob Uecker, who actually calls baseball games and has done it longer than Harry Carey did.
Well,
you should do yourself a favor after the show. Go to YouTube, Google Bob Uecker on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Some of the funniest stuff you'll ever see. Good stuff.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
right? I'll check it out.
Bobby
Yeah,
Uecker looked old in Major League. Like, man, that guy's still around.
He's one of those guys that's had white hair since he was like 35.
That's true.
Yeah. If you go back, and also there was a little television show when Rico and I was growing up called Mr. Belvedere, and he was the dad in that. Bob Uecker was so he was an unbelievably terrible baseball player, but the guy has been ultimately successful. It looks like the Oilers have tied that game up 2-2.
Yeah.
But the Buffalo Sabres are on the power play. I'd really like to see Buffalo stay in this.
Yeah.
You know, they've been playing some pretty good hockey as of late.
And you had a nice little offside goal called against Buffalo earlier as well, too, which basically a hairline over the blue line. There was another offside for.
And Edmonton getting a call?
Yeah, nice shot by Darlene. And, offside by a pin hair that had nothing to do with the play.
The replays are not going away, and they're going to be worse. I mean, just based on my thoughts, I also think the fact that Nashville is in the Western Conference blows me away. Like, if you're Edmonton and you end up let's say you end up playing Nashville, you have to go from Edmonton to Nashville. I mean, I know that can't happen in the first round, but wow. Like, that's ridiculous, dude. Just get rid of the conferences, make regional divisions, like 4 or 3 of them, whatever you decide. But like Florida and Tampa and Nashville should be playing each other 6 times a year.
Yeah.
Throw in the Hurricanes. Throw in, like, I'm just saying, like, if we need to get back, you don't need to see everybody. If you want to see McDavid play, get on a plane and fly to Edmonton. If you want to see Ovi play, get on a plane and fly to Washington, D.C. You want to see Sid the Kid, go to freaking Pittsburgh, man. Like, it's like they just got to figure this out, man. They got to figure this out.
That's all the owners. There's not an owner out there that doesn't want McDavid to show up in their building at least once a year. That's really
they can still do that. Pearl, you can still have once a year games with them, but you don't need to play them 2 times if they're a non-division or non-conference. Get rid of the conference stuff altogether, man. Get rid of it. You don't need it. Seed the teams 1 through 16. The number 1 team, when the playoffs come, it's not going to matter, but you can do regional playoffs in the first round or whatever, and then just reseed after. So you never have these stupid matchups. Like,
definitely reseed or make 3 divisions, make a West, a Central, and an East, and then one team that wins a President's Trophy gets a bye, kind of like baseball or football. You know, one team gets a bye and then balance out the others. But yeah, I could see restructuring it once the playoffs start as well too. But yeah, man, look at all these back-to-backs, like, and the teams traveling to and from, like the Islanders, the Hurricanes. Like, there's been some teams that have just gone back and forth on planes, off planes, in rinks, out of town, in town. I mean, the players are a lot more conditioned and stuff. It's a younger man's game, definitely, but it's still screwing the schedule right up. And then you got 11 games on one night and 4 on another night and 13 on another night and 3 on another night. And this whole balanced schedule is making us watch. Like, next Tuesday night's a great slate, but then you're going to get a bunch of crappy games after 8:30 that don't mean nothing. So yeah, it's because of the balanced schedule. But I mean, there's an argument for everything. I mean, within your division, there's a lot more during the dog days of the hockey year, per se, because you're probably playing for something a little more.
Oh, sorry about the pause there. Dogs are barking and had to make sure. I also, Celine Dion did the lineups for the Bruins.
What? I didn't see that.
Yeah, she came in and did the lineups for the Bruins. Celine Dion, highly underrated singer, like incredible singer. So You got a fan in the chat, Rico. We'll just leave it at that. Oh, Perlo, I didn't mean to get you back in here. I got you back in. Perlo, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Also, Donkey Puncher says Perlo just likes to poke the bear. He must listen to this show from afar. He knows you well.
I like to poke the bear.
Yeah. It's a letter kitty reference, is what
I know what poke the bear means. It means like get into something that is going to get people upset. That's what he's saying.
I think they just don't know your personality. That's just the way you are anyway, period. Shout out Vic, by the way, from producer from Daily Face Off. Appreciate you, Vic. We got 6 people watching on Twitter too, man. So that means we got like 20 people, which is nice. Thank you for everybody that showed up and is out. I'm rocking the Giants because I didn't feel like changing for the show. This is what I had on today. So I was like, oh, Giants hat. Here we go. Yes, I am a pathetic New York Giants fan. It's been real fun the last 15 years. We've been a dumpster fire. Okay.
Better than the Bills, man. You won Super Bowl, so.
I mean, we actually beat the Bills in the Super Bowl, so like that.
Yeah, don't be crying, man.
I feel so bad for Bills fans. Yeah. I want Bills to win so bad. Anyway, let's jump right into Friday's games, man. I didn't have Salty. I have no idea. Every Giants fan thinks we're drafted the kid from Michigan. I have no idea, man. You know what? If you want to know, there's like 809,000 New York Giants content creators, and I was sadly a part of that at one point. So you can go check that out because I don't care. It's just sad. My NFL team's best player just recently retired. Darkness, I don't know who that is. You'll have to say who it is. So tonight, you know what? The Rangers could catch the Bruins as the number 1 seed. Do they want that? Do they want to play? Do the Rangers want to play the Red Wings? I would rather play the Red Wings than Tampa Bay. Oh, Aaron Donald. Yes, Aaron Donald just retired. Yeah, Aaron Donald. I heard somebody have the audacity to say he was almost as good as Lawrence Taylor. No. Negative, Ghost Rider. Couldn't hold Lawrence Taylor's jock. Anyway, when you're a defensive player and you win the NFL MVP, you're that. Like Lawrence is one of like 3 guys to have done that. So we've got it at Vegas. Vegas, everybody's worried about Vegas. The Blues are 2 points behind Vegas. But the problem is Vegas has 2 games in hand. Same with Minnesota. I think Minnesota losing to the Kings, that was a crusher. And I think we're looking at Kings Oilers in the first round, boys. I think that's going to be the matchup.
And who in Vancouver and Vegas?
Rico, you got more fans in the chat. Libby 2.0. Is Libby a fan of you? Do you know Libby?
No idea.
Okay.
But
yep, Libby's a fan. All right. The Blues Vegas game Monday is huge, Darkness, for your St. Louis Blues. They look pretty good tonight against Ottawa, but everybody looks good against Ottawa. So okay, yeah. So we're just gonna jump right into Friday's games. This is the last show of the week for us, so we'll be back next Monday. If I make it alive through the weekend, being by myself, trying to manage 5 dogs. We have some significant games. The Caps and Hurricanes, that's a huge game for the Caps. The Caps are plus 154. What do you think of that game there, Perlo?
I haven't said that much about this, but Carolina really just annoys me. That team should be way better than they are. They always seem to just barely get by. They outshoot teams, but they don't score. It's been like that for a long time now.
But have you watched them since the trades, though? They've looked really good, dude. Tonight was the first game I felt like they didn't play great.
But they slipped back into it a bit. I don't know. This is going to be balls out for Washington. So I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Carolina. I think this is going to be Washington's going to come correct here. I certainly wouldn't want to take Carolina in regulation or something like that. I could see a draw. I think Washington's going to be heavy on every stick in this game. Heavy as hell. I could even see him winning it. So I would take give me a money line for the love of God.
Sorry, hey, by the way, the money line is plus 154 for the Caps. And then the over under, is that what you needed?
No, I mean that feels like an under. So I would definitely look at the under there. But
6.
I think this is going to be a heavy
6
game.
is the number.
Under 6 is probably my favorite play. But I mean, I would not be surprised if Washington wins that game. Not be surprised.
Well, they need it badly. And this is Kuznetsov's return. We'll see how it goes. He's been good for them.
Yeah. Forgot
He's
about
been
that.
good
That's
for
a prop. I might even play that prop. Rico.
Yeah, Rico, pay attention to the chat.
Yeah, yeah, whatever.
Okay, Penguins Stars. Penguins are plus 164.
No, I got to make my Carolina-Washington pick here.
Oh, hold on. Before you make your Carolina-Washington pick, I apologize for moving on to the next game. People in Twitter, people in Twitch, you can chime in the chat. I mean, people in X or whatever. I see we got a bunch of people on X tonight, and I'm loving it. And I wanted to thank Jeff Merrick and Frank Saravelli for retweeting and liking a tweet I put out there today from Jason Greger on the Daily Faceoff Rundown. Talks about male suicide. It's a really awesome part of the show and hits close home to me. I really appreciate it. I've had 2 family members kill themselves, so it's been rough. Just let me recap the games, and we'll get into Rico's pick for the Hurricanes. Capitals. Rangers beat the Bruins 5-2. Flyers 3-2 overtime loss. Heartbreaker for them. Helpful for the Caps, though. Islanders are done. Sorry, Cam. We love you. 6-3 win by the Detroit Red Wings. They've overcome the garbage patch. The Devils get a huge win, 4-1. Senators lose to the Blues at home. Predators shut out maybe the best team in the NHL, the Florida Panthers. And I don't know, man. The Preds are going to make some noise in the playoffs, man. I could see them in the second or third round easy. We have Sabres, Oilers tied up at 2-2. Blackhawks, Ducks scoreless. Canadians, Canucks scoreless. And the puck is yet to drop for Kraken, Golden Knights, and Lightning Sharks. We are previewing tomorrow's games. We've got the Hurricanes at Capitals. I got to go with my Caps, plus 154. Throw a little fiver on there. Pearlo already gave his pick. Pearlo, recap what you said.
I like the under, but I could definitely see Washington winning it. I don't know if I'll get to the I don't know if it'll get on my card, but I could see them doing it. I could see them doing it there, especially since I could see them doing it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rico?
Yeah, Rico, give us your Hurricanes.
Dude, I'm looking at this Hurricane schedule. Remember I talked about it last night, how the Carolina Hurricanes are playing a shit ton of hockey right now. This is going to be an unbelievable 5 games in 7 nights. You don't see
wow.
that. 5 games in 7 nights. Saturday at the Leafs, Sunday at the Senators, Tuesday at the Islanders, Thursday at home against the Flyers, tomorrow at the Capitals.
Outside of the Capitals, everybody else and the Islanders, everybody else is in a playoff spot.
That's a lot of hockey, man. I'm taking Washington all day in this game.
Yeah,
Carolina,
I agree. Now that I just heard that, Washington all day. Yeah,
you see 4 games in 6 nights, but you don't see 5 games in 7 nights.
No, 5 games in 7 nights.
This is a really bad scheduling spot.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Ain't no team beating any team.
I don't remember
5 games in 7 nights.
I don't remember this ever happening. 5 in 7 nights. That's ridiculous. This isn't the NBA. Guys hit each other out there.
Hockey players play every game. Unlike the NBA is what you meant to say.
Yeah, true. Yeah. This would be load management for Aho and Brett Burns and probably Svechnikov and.
Darkness is saying the Blues had a stretch of 5 games and 7 nights earlier this year. That's awesome, Darkness.
Holy shit, Darkness from the top rope. This guy's a genius.
He's a great hockey fan. Darkness is. I always appreciate when he comes in here, man. St. Louis Blues guy. Let's go to Penguins Stars. Penguins plus 164. And the over-under is 6.5. You know what, man? I like the Pens in this one. The Stars just always seem to lay an egg against teams they should do well against. And if I like the Pens, they probably have a good chance. Go ahead, Pearlo.
I haven't really even paid attention to this one here yet.
You don't have to. That's fine. We can skip it for you. Rico, do you have anything on this one? Because I want to talk about some of the Saturday games anyway, guys.
Yeah, I know. I just want to clip out that part where you say, I like the Pens, and then just post that somewhere on like a little
go ahead.
video.
I do like the Pens here. I'm going to do that. You can do it.
Yeah, I know. A little slippery game for Pittsburgh. They're going to Colorado right after this. So I mean, they're right in the middle of a 3-game road trip. Dallas, they took a slow start against Arizona last game, but they're going to the Coyotes after this. They're going on the road after this for Dallas. So I wouldn't mind the Penguins making a sneaky game out of this, because those Dallas guys like to get at it off the ice too. So they're making their road plans right now, and they might just overlook the Penguins in their last game at home here. So Penguins could slip one by.
There's NCAA tournament. It's in Dallas, though. It's in Dallas.
Oh, yeah, the boys are going out. They're making road plans after this. They're probably going to not even worry about this game against Penguins. They're not going to run them out of the building, so I expect a closer game. Maybe Pittsburgh could surprise them here, because you're not going to pay the price for Dallas anyway. So go with some Dallas player props, maybe a couple.
Yeah, that's why I liked Pittsburgh. I thought Dallas was such a big favorite there.
Yeah, and if you're worried about the side, take a Michael Bunting point prop. This guy's been cashing lately, and he's been getting a lot of minutes in Pittsburgh. So go Michael Bunting point props, usually paying at even money, and you're probably going to take home some if you're worried about who to bet on here and don't want to pay the price for Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. The next game is the Blue Jackets versus the Avalanche at home. I ain't touching it. I do want to do a Nathan MacKinnon point prop, though. We got to keep that point prop, that home point streak going. Nathan MacKinnon, let's go. Nathan MacKinnon, 42 goals, 75 assists. What a year. What do you like here, Rico? Go ahead and give us what you like on this.
Careful here. Colorado's coming off a road trip too. So, I mean, Columbus played Detroit hard in that last game in Detroit, in a must-win for the Red Wings that are playing for something. So, one thing about Columbus, they play hard, but they just usually can't finish the game. So, I mean, besides that game in Montreal, they got beat by the Jets 6-1 before that. So, I mean, Columbus on a bit of a road trip. They're going to Vegas after that. I don't expect Colorado to pile up a bunch of points and play at the pace they usually do in this game. So, it'll be Colorado maybe just a sneaky Columbus, maybe team total, and might get it out over 1.5 or 2.5 or something. Maybe think that Columbus can probably play with some pace, and Colorado's going to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be 6-1.
I said the over-under is 6.5 just to reiterate, but yeah. No, I agree with everything you're saying. And I just don't see Columbus beating Colorado at all. There's just no way. That Colorado.
No, they won't, but
they won't lose to bad teams.
Going to save their legs. They got nothing to prove by winning.
You think under? You like under with that logic then?
I don't know if I like the under, because it's hard to bet a Colorado game under, but I mean, it's their first game back.
Vancouver just scored, by the way, to go up 1-0. Was it Mikheyev? Zadorov. Nikita Zadorov.
Wow, Zadorov.
Yeah. Did you have a Zadorov goal scoring?
No, I did not. I don't think I've taken him for a goal all year, but I mean, go Colorado top line.
Hey, by the way, didn't he score in the? Oh, never mind. You weren't. I was going to say when I was in Toronto, I thought he scored for Calgary against the Leafs.
Was that his first goal of the year, and this was his second one?
I don't know. No, he did. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what number it was for him. I don't know, but I thought he scored against the Leafs there. But that was the Calgary game. That they have yet to show. Sportsnet with their infinite production has yet to show what number that is. Buffalo's up 3-2, by the way. JJ Paterka.
Oh, Paterka had a goal prop in his first goal.
That game is close to the. I have this too, man. I've noticed this with Edmonton. It feels like they play with their absolute hair on fire if they're down a goal. Like almost panicky.
That's true.
Doesn't that feel like that to you? It really just feels
Leafs
like
kind of like that too.
The Toronto, as you think? Well, shit,
yeah,
they weren't behind.
Yeah, but Toronto is kind of like that too. That they're always trying.
I think the Leafs are one of the better teams. So if you score on them first, you'll be really good.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, Josh. Yeah, your Canes are looking good, man. Thank you. Appreciate you popping in, man.
Love the Canes.
Yeah, dude, I was close to buying a 92 Kuznetsov. I got to roll with my boy, man. Caniacs jersey. I'm definitely rooting for the Canes, man. I mean, I root for everybody. I'm even rooting for Pittsburgh tonight or tomorrow. Pearlo, do you have anything on this Blue Jackets Avalanche game? I like the Nathan McKinnon.
Before I'll give you something on the Pittsburgh Dallas now after I've looked at it. Over 6.5. Both of these teams have been flying over the total the last little while, and I don't see either one of them trying to shut each other down here. I think this is going to be a balls out offensive game, so I'll take the over on that. Colorado Columbus. Columbus is going to come correct here. Whenever you're playing like a big team like that, these young guys, they get up for these sort of games. And like you said, Colorado's got Pittsburgh after this. They're kind of set in their spot. It's hard to trust Columbus, but I would go
they beat Edmonton this year. Columbus did. I mean, they're just one of those teams where, like, if they play to their potential, which is just ridiculous.
They sniff blood, they'll pounce. If they could sniff blood, like Detroit came out slow the other night, they just pounced on Detroit and played a lot harder. Like they're like the effort's there with that team.
That would have helped me so much.
I'd feel better if they were at home, but on the road, that Colorado team is stacked. I don't know if they can. I think they could half-ass it and still win the game, but I get what you guys are saying too. It's not a great spot. There's no way. I'm taking Colorado. Columbus can't shut down anything. That's the other thing. Even if they are up after the first or second, they lose in the third. There probably hasn't been any team in the league except for maybe Anaheim to lose in the third period more than.
The thing is, if you bet Colorado against Columbus, you're gonna have to bet a piano to win an accordion. No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the line of the night, Rico. I love it.
He said that yesterday. Yeah.
Did he? Yeah. I'm sorry if I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
Did I say that yesterday? Oh.
Yeah, he did. I'd say Colorado minus 0.5 first period. Yeah, you got to do something. You can't take it on the money line. You got to do something to make some money on it, but something like that. I think the best thing to do is go live and hope Columbus pots one early, and then take Colorado puck line after that.
Or maybe too, like if let's say Columbus got up 2-0 and you haven't bet anything, jump in on your FanDuel or whatever you got,
something like
and
that,
do a Nathan McKinnon live points, because then the odds are going to be higher. You're going to get better odds, and he's going to do it. He's going to be angry losing to a Punch and Judy team like the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. I all know how Blue Jackets are going to get up by 2. Like if Gudbranson puts one off Jenner's head and it goes in the net or something, it's going to happen. But there's no way Colorado's going to go down 2-0 to Columbus. But crazier things have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to
Okay, the last game of the night, and then we'll talk about a couple key games. There's 21 games this weekend between Saturday and Sunday. So we'll cap a couple of those games. I said we would. Seattle Kraken at we just won't have up-to-date odds, guys. So those of you, we'll just let you know where we think the teams are trending. Seattle Kraken, Arizona Coyotes. There's no favorite in that game. That's the final game, and the over-under in that is 5.5. I actually like the over. Arizona, since they found out they might have a chance to get an arena, all them boys been playing pretty good. I think I've liked Arizona their last 3 or 4 games. They've looked like they've been going. Andrew likes Seattle in the over. He disagrees with me.
Yeah, the thing is, Seattle's playing in Vegas, and like according to Pearlo, this is their Stanley Cup tonight, playing in Vegas because they got nothing else to play for. And yeah, Arizona is basically playing for their NHL lives right now, and Dallas put a roadkill of a dead Coyote on the road after they beat them in the last game. So I think they're just going to take that to heart too, as well as they got something to play for, man. They belong.
Dude, that was so classless, by the way.
That was shit. I mean, they play at the Mullet. They play a little better there. I mean, if Seattle's going on this road trip and they're going to Vegas and they're going to Arizona, who's the one they're going to want to beat more and focus on? Or is this
Seattle's wearing the Winter Classic jerseys tonight, and Vegas is too.
No way. Sick.
Yeah, they're wearing the Winter Classic jerseys again.
Oh, that's all the more reason for Vegas to pump them full of lead then.
Well, yeah, I wonder, though. I'm worried about Vegas, man. They have been bad. I'll credit Jason Greger again. I was listening to him on that show, and he was talking about they're like almost sub 500 since their first 20 games. They've been but they've had a lot of injuries too. That's just the thing with that team. They're older. That's what's going to be the case. Just with the travel and stuff that they have out there, I'm not surprised they've broken down as much. Yep, that game is underway. So we now, did I lose Edmonton? I think all games are underway now. So all games are underway.
Yeah, and tied.
If the score change and the scoreboard's wrong, just let me know. Oh, Oilers have tied it.
Yeah.
So I lost.
Zach Hyman, death, taxes, and Hyman home goals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see Buffalo win this just to keep in the playoff mix, just to keep that as exciting as we can have it. Everything else looks the same. No score in that Blackhawks Ducks game. It's still 1-0 Canucks. Kraken Golden Knights puck just dropped, and we were about 5 minutes underway. Lightning and Sharks, no score. Nothing going on major there. Hey, just wanted to shout out real before you go, Rico. Apologize. Just want to shout out everybody watching us on X, everybody watching us on YouTube, everybody watching us on Twitch. And then, we got a few people watching us on Instagram too. So I really appreciate that. So thank you. I appreciate everybody that comes out. Anyway.
Absolutely. Love y'all. Every social community, man. We welcome y'all. We love the game. We're all a family. So that's wicked to see the support.
Yeah. I can't communicate with you guys in Instagram, but I can through X. I can through as the chat is live is what I'm telling you guys from a production standpoint. I can look on Instagram. If you type something in there, I'll look, but I don't check it as much just because of all the stuff I'm doing behind the scenes. But Twitch, X, and YouTube will obviously see your comments, and we'll try to keep you a part of the show as much as possible without breaking format too much. Were you guys pretty much done with Friday? Pearlo, did you give your thoughts on Kraken Yotes there?
Yeah, kind of an ugly game. It would have a lot to do with what happens with Seattle here. I think they're going to lose, but even if they do, I don't see anybody trying to fight here to, what are you proving? What's Arizona proving to Seattle or vice versa? So you said it's a 5.5. I would go that way. I don't think teams are going to be scrambling all over the place trying to block shots and shit like that here.
Yeah, so I like the over in that one for sure. Yeah.
I like the over, yeah. I like the over.
Okay. Let's move on to Saturday. There's 11 games. We're not going to talk about all of them, but here's a few I'd like to highlight with you guys. The Vancouver Canucks just scored again, and you're not going to believe who scored the second goal of the game.
Connor Garland. Oh,
Nikita
no way.
Zadorov is bidding for a hat trick. If Nikita Zadorov gets live bet Nikita Zadorov.
Live bet that.
He's going to be playing forward when the empty net's on, probably, try to get him on. Then you can see him for another 8 games.
Dude, the coach is cool as hell if he does that. If they have the game wrapped up, let's say it's
Zadorov's
like 3-1.
taking a draw.
He's out there, center face off, shoots it in the net.
Yeah.
Hey, quick point here. Roman Josi, 52 assists in 69 games, and he pays about plus 110 for an assist per game. So do the math.
If you bet $10 on him, you're up like $5,900. Like if you just bet $10 every game, you're up like $5,900.
You could have made a killing off him this year just off his assist prop.
Just being like, yeah, I'll take a Roman Josi assist prop.
That's it. One bet a night. Just put $100 on it a night for the whole year.
Oh God, you're up huge, bro. If you put 1,000, you could have bought a house. Okay. I don't know what 1,000 is, by the way. I don't know the tech. What do they call a grand now? 1K, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Zadorov is turned into Bobby Orr the day after Bobby Orr's birthday. He's got 2 goals tonight. Pretty awesome.
Bobby Zadorov.
Okay, so here are the games that I want to talk about for Saturday. Red Wings Preds, big game for the Red Wings still. Oilers Maple Leafs, that's a game I'm watching. I really want to watch this game. I haven't really watched it because the Oilers have played a kind of a really crappy schedule, honestly, and I just haven't really been interested in watching them, beat up on St. Mary's School, the deaf and blind. But that's going to be a great game. The ABC game of the day, 8 p.m. Eastern, Rangers-Panthers in New York. That's going to be a game. Now it's even better because the Rangers are coming off a win and the Panthers are coming off a loss. It's not a back-to-back, obviously. This is Saturday. Flames-Canucks would be a burner if the Flames were any good, but their young guys are stepping up. So those are the games. I think Kings-Lightning is a big game. I'd like to see how that one shapes out, but really the games there, Red Wings, Preds, Oilers, Leafs, Panthers, Rangers, and Lightning, Kings. Which one of those games you guys want to talk about and then just say where you're going and maybe why?
Just throw in the Blues Wild there a little bit because St. Louis is clinging for their life as well.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Winnipeg could basically put a nail in the Islanders' coffin if it's not already there. I mean, they were only a couple points back in Detroit going into tonight. So,
Blues and Flyers is a good game too.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, there's a lot going down the lineup. The only one I could see that sucks is Ottawa, New Jersey, and Calgary, Vancouver, Chicago, San Jose.
No, New Jersey's huge because they're not out of it yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, New Jersey's huge. They got to win that game.
Jake Allen for Vezina.
Dude, we said this, that they're 1 point behind the Islanders and 3 points behind the Caps. It's not impossible. Now, the thing is, Caps got games in hand. They've played 68. But Philadelphia is falling. And, I mean, now what do you do? I think, Pearlo, I know you did your torts rant yesterday or the day before, or one time this week you did, how much you love him, but he is fumbling the bag on this one, man. And honestly, I'll tell you, I know secretly the Flyers don't want to make the playoffs. And I wonder if Couturier is injured, but they're just not saying. I don't know. It doesn't feel – something feels wrong there now all of a sudden when they've had good –
So what happens if Torts puts Couturier in tonight and they lose? So they won without him in the lineup, or they lose with him in the lineup. But now that's the worst case scenario, is that you lose with Couturier still up there. So now you put him back in. And what the hell's and you could be totally right. He could be dealing with something as well too, that Torts is dismissing questions from the media and stuff, and I don't want to talk about it and all this shit. The fans want to know. That's why the media asks these questions too, because the fans have so much access to the team, and these are the only ones they get information from, or these reporters are asking Torts these questions. So But I mean, that was a gutsy effort by Philly. They got a point. They went to overtime against Carolina in Carolina, so nothing to shake their head at. So.
Yeah. I don't know if he's dropping the ball. If you've been watching Couturier, he's been sucking hind tip for a little bit here. The guy
I don't think that's being argued for like, yeah, that's not being
yeah, I mean, he didn't play for a long time, and now it's getting to the end of the season. I think he's bagging out, and Couturier's not going to admit that or want to admit that. You know, he's going to want to play. Like he's got a lot of pride. It took a lot of pride for him to come back from that friggin' injury, which was brutal, and so you know, it's Tortorella's kind of like I know he won't. I know he does. He's never going to take himself out, but somebody's got it. He hasn't looked good in the last little while, so it's pretty simple. He's not going to talk about it or say why or whatever for good reason. He doesn't want to, you know, disrespect his captain and say that he hasn't.
Well, I think a lot of people are saying. I think a lot of people are saying Pearlo, and this is. I don't really have a dog in this fight, because I feel like whatever. But I think a lot of people are saying he is disrespecting him by scratching him. And that's why people are all – and then he won't come to the media and say why. But like you said, there could be ulterior reasons they're trying to protect – they're making Torts be the bad guy or whatever, which he plays that role well. So.
Then it's not his fault he has a C on his jersey either. You know, if he didn't have a C on his jersey, would it be this big of a deal that he's sitting out?
No, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. I think it's a bigger deal that they named him captain 34 days ago, and now he's scratched 2 games in a row. That's probably the big deal. I think it's just one of those things where if this was Arizona, no one would be saying shit. I mean, if this was Andre Cherney scratching their captain in Arizona, which I don't believe they have a captain in Arizona. I think they're one of the captainless teams. But I don't know, man. It's just a really weird situation, and it's uncomfortable, and it's not getting better.
People can't read in between the lines. That's the problem. I'm surprised these guys are paid as much as they are. Maybe they can, but they're not allowed to, so they're not.
Are you talking about the television people?
Yes, I'm talking about some. Are you kidding me? This is so freaking obvious. It's so obvious. Couturier hasn't been playing well. He scratches them. There's a lot of reason for it. More than likely, he's just running out of gas at the end of the season. And it would be would you think it would be respectful to your captain to say, yeah, Couturier is running out of gas at the end of the season? Tortorella could make up a lie, but he never lies. He'll just won't tell you. He doesn't give a shit what the media thinks. He doesn't care what the media thinks. He doesn't care what anybody thinks. He's not going to lie. He's not going to lie, but he's also not going to come out and say, my captain's running out of gas. That would be more disrespectful. So it's obvious. But I listen to these guys. They're like, are you freaking kidding me? You can't figure this shit out? It's so obvious. Anyways.
Yeah, no, I love it, dude. I should have put you on full screen, but you would have just looked like a bigger 8-bit character talking to us. So, Mario, Koopa Troopa, Pearlo Wisdom.
Anyways,
okay. Yeah, I mean, this is still a hugely important game for the Flyers. They got to beat the Bruins. Bruins are coming off a game where they look like crap to the Rangers, too. I'm rooting for the Bruins, but I think the Flyers probably can get it done here. What do you think, Pearlo? I don't have numbers, guys, because we're too far out. Just give us a quick approximation, and we'll move on to the next game.
That's one hell of an interesting game. That's going to be a balls out game right there. If Bruins beat the Rangers, I would be on the Flyers. But losing to the Rangers, now coming up against the Flyers, it could be either way. I'd probably say an under here. I would take an under. That would be what.
Yeah, I don't have numbers, so hey, HTH, thanks for popping in. Appreciate you. Leave a like, subscribe. By the way, this is NHL Nightly, brought to you by Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, maybe Mr. Pearlo Wisdom, Steve Duncan, coming to you live from Edmonton, Alberta. And not last, but certainly not least, the best of us, Mr. Rico Moran, our French correspondent. If you need something said to you in French, Rico will do it. He's also played high-level hockey at the junior level, knows the game, plays, and he gives us a beer league corresponding. We're talking about the weekend games. We don't have lines and we don't have plus minuses or anything like that. So, by the way, Jackie Aces just put the Vegas Golden Knights up 1-0. So I will update the score. The scores are there. Follow us on our socials. Check us out on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. We're just going to go over a couple of the games from the 21 that are over the weekend here, Saturday and Sunday. This is our last show of the week, and we'll be back. So I really appreciate you. Oh, and ringside coverage from the Barrie Colts. Oh, yeah, you give us Barrie Colts ringside coverage. But Rico goes to games all the time. He goes to Ottawa games. He gives us some scouting reports and stuff. We just have fun. We're good fans. We love talking hockey, hardcore. And Pearlo has some of the best takes because people are stealing them and using them on national TV. Brian Hayes, who stole his Crosby take, and now I think it's going to happen. I think Pearlo is going to be right when we all laughed in his face.
Oh, yeah. The boys on Kipper and Bourne are talking about it, too. Everybody's talking about it now.
Yep, everybody's talking about it now.
It's amazing how I come up with this stuff a year before everybody does. How does that happen?
Pearlo talked about this months ago while Pittsburgh was in a playoff.
Long time ago. Yeah.
I thought at the beginning of the year was like that. Oh, we have a high sticking penalty. And we're coming back with, there's a few live games, so we'll talk about that as that goes. Bruins Flyers, did you get to say your...
I'll take the Flyers in that spot. Go with points problem. Morgan Frost been playing on top line with Owen Tippett and Konechny playing well. He got a point tonight as well. Ex-Barrie Colt Tyson Forrester, a young kid that's been playing well in Philadelphia too. I'll take the Flyers there at home. Crowd's going to be electric. 1:00 Saturday afternoon in Philly. Crowd's going to be still drunk from Friday night. It's going to be wild, crazy. Home Philly. Tough barn to go in.
Yeah. I don't want to go down that road, hot take hockey, because it's just going to piss me the fuck off. So I'm just going to keep moving on to the rest of the weekend games that we're talking about. I think we should be celebrating the game. And if you love and respect and celebrate the game, you should be celebrating that Ovi is going to pass Wayne Gretzky. You know who's celebrating it? Wayne Gretzky. And I think if you're doing anything otherwise, you're doing a disservice to the game. I don't care if you don't like Ovi. Stupid. You know what? Because in 10 years, we might be doing this again with Austin Matthews. But he's got to play 10 more years. And that, you never know what can happen. So, and if I was a Leafs fan, I'd be worried about winning the Stanley Cup. That's just me. That's what I want if I'm a Leafs fan. That's what
I'd be worried about it too, because it's not happening. So I'd be very worried about it. Anyways, there's no way.
Anyway, that's me. Not naming names. Okay. Who do you like here, Rico? Bruins or Flyers?
I'll take Philly at home. Early game in Philly. Philly's going to be waking up.
That's at 1 p.m. Eastern puck drops. That means it comes on at like 9 a.m. here. Oh,
it's going to be fire. Saturday afternoon, Philly. They're going to get after it. That's a tough barn to go in, and Philly needs a game. They're going to come hard at Boston there. If you look at the lineups top to bottom, I mean, you'll probably see Allmark at that game. So I'll take Philly there at home. They'll play the same game they played against the Leafs. They'll just come hard, young, good legs. They'll play well. Like I said, take the Morgan Frost point. You'll make money on that game. Go with Jake DeBrusk maybe for Boston.
Yeah. This is last year, by the way. Is this his last year in Boston?
He's playing for a contract. He's playing motivated.
Okay, Red Wings Predators. Let's talk a little bit about that game. That's a crucial game for the Red Wings, and the Preds are beating everybody. They're just dolly-whopping. I mean, they just beat the pants off the Panthers 3-0. So,
yeah, the thing with Nashville in that spot, there's another weird one. At the Kraken, home against the Sharks, at the Panthers, home against the Red Wings. And then they got Vegas coming into town on Tuesday. So it's the old divisional matchup when they were both in the Central Division. So it's going to be tough. The only thing here is it's UC Saros against Alex Lyon. I mean, the goaltenders look at each other across the rink, and I got no faith in Detroit's goaltenders right now. I mean, it's either Reimer or Lyon. If you expect Alex Lyon to have a bounce back, I mean, he's had a rough go lately. I mean, Larkin is back in the lineup. It's going to be an awesome game to watch. Tune into this game, man. Detroit-Nashville is going to be an excellent one to see, but Alex Lyon hasn't shown me much at all, so I'd hate to go against Nashville here, just the way they're playing, coming off a win against the Stanley Cup predicted champs in Florida tonight, shutout with the backup in net. I don't think Detroit has a chance in Nashville here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we don't have lines and stuff again. Just repeating, just give us. Yeah, I mean, like your props or picks is.
Take your Lucas Raymond prop for Detroit. He'll probably cash you. He got one late on the empty netter tonight, so he still cashed a point prop. Probably gonna have to pay a little bit for it, but he's been good on the power play of Patrick Kane, so take those props well too. But as far as Nashville, the whole Gustav Nyquist point props, Evangelista, he's been good. Thomas Novak's always better at home than the road. He didn't get any points tonight, so Thomas Novak point prop at home in that game would be a good one too.
Right on, Pearlo.
Larkin's in now. It's a big difference for this Detroit team.
Yeah, everybody's playing where they're supposed to be playing, and it helps.
Nashville's coming off that. Nashville played their balls off to beat Florida. They've been playing hard. This feels like a letdown spot all day. I think Detroit's going to pull this off. If I'm getting money on Detroit, if I'm getting plus money on Detroit here, I'm going to throw a little bit on them with Larkin in there. They're terrible without him, and they're above average with him. And it's like the Predators have been beating everybody up, but you can only do that for so long. They've been playing balls out. This just feels like a little bit of a tired leg spot after that Florida win. I could see Detroit winning this game.
I hope so, Pearlo. I want Detroit to win this game. So.
Yeah, you're a Wings fan, so.
How'd you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think they might do it. I think they might pull it off there.
Yeah, you know what? And Lions are going to get that start again, and they went with Reimer 2 games in a row because of the fatigue as well, too, which St. Martin mentioned. So I get what St. Martin's saying there, and you're saying as well, too, and that was a big victory over Florida tonight. So, I mentioned a spot earlier of road home. So this is a little tricky spot for Nashville. So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably play it closer to game time. It just... the goaltending in Detroit, Alex Lyon, this is a big game for him to bounce back for the confidence of the team in front of him too.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels like a Detroit. Yeah, I agree. A Detroit spot. And that's a good point. I didn't bring it up, but Martin did. That Lyon really, the reason why he hasn't been playing very well is he's just overplayed. Like, he's not a big goaltender, and I think he's just getting tired. Now he's had a couple of days off. Might come and just kick ass. What's next? What's our next game?
Yeah, sorry. Let's talk about Oilers Leafs.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, Oilers are on the ice right now, and they know they're flying across the country to go to Toronto. McDavid's family is going to be in the stands. Go with McDavid over 1.5. That's going to cash. You'll probably get it around even money. So that's the start with the point props there. And you're probably going to get Matthews because it's going to be a Matthews-McDavid talk on the CBC panel on Sportsnet. All the Canadian writers and reporters will be just putting Matthews and McDavid's head on a poster behind what they're talking about all night. So go with those guys for point props. Go with the Top Guns on Saturday night. As far as the game goes, that's a different story. I mean, Toronto went to Washington. Now they're home against the Oilers, but they got 3 days rest. Then they're going to Carolina. So, and they're playing Carolina the next day. That's Sunday. So they're taking off after the game against the Oilers. So I don't mind the Oilers in this spot, knowing that Toronto's probably got to focus on leaving town after this game and flying to Carolina. But I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this one. Maybe a draw now, maybe something closer to maybe check out my Twitter. I'll try and post a pic before the game on this one. As of now, I know Toronto's got to fly out right after this game and go to Carolina for a 6:00 game the next night. And the Oilers coming into town. Everybody loves playing in Toronto. Zach Hyman signs somewhere else. You'll probably see him get a goal. I know he does a lot more at home than on the road, but McDavid, Hyman will be your guys for the Oilers. And I'd just stick with the top guns, Matthews, Bertuzzi, because he's on that top line. But I'll leave it as a draw for now.
Pearlo.
One thing I do like, first of all, probably my favorite bet will be both teams to score first period here. I think they're going to come out hard on a Saturday night. Like, it's just can't see it not being that way. The first thing you got to look at, you think of, is the over. But Wall, it's going to be a 6.5. It might even be a 7. So I'm not sure. With Wall in that, Toronto.
Wall's not confirmed though.
Yeah, if it's Samsonov, straight up over. I would take definitely an over, and I like over over both teams to score first period, and I think it's a gut play after that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I guarantee you, Samsonov's going to be in net Saturday night against the Oilers.
Well,
so they're going to give that net to Samsonov. He's been their number one lately. He's been playing better. Wall's coming off injury. They'll start Wall on the road. You do that to Samsonov. You don't start him Saturday night at home against the Oilers. There goes his confidence again. And you know what? I'm not the number one guy, because that's a number one spot Saturday night against the Oilers. So I'd be very surprised if Samsonov doesn't get that start for the Leafs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess I got over and both teams to score first period. That's my plays.
Those are good bets. They'll come at each other for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins left the game.
Oh, that's not good. Hopefully it's precaution.
Again, I said that's a team. That's a team I think that injuries hurt that team big time. If they have any, I feel like they're paper thin as far as depth. But, if they stay healthy, you never know.
So where's Nugent Hopkins in the depth chart of the Oilers?
I think he's been playing a lot of third line for them, hasn't he? Well, I don't want to. Pearlo, you watch the Oilers. Where's Nugent Hopkins been playing? Well, why don't we not? Yes, I'll just check the daily face-off lines page.
Yeah, he was on the first line with McDavid and Hyman most of the year until they made those trades for Henry. And
Oilers just scored.
Yeah, Oilers just scored. I think Nurse.
I've got Sabres plus 1.5.
I took that bet too at minus 135.
Yeah,
Sabres plus 1.5. I backed up my my Sabres win outright bet on that game.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. The only other team I could think of in the West is if you lose one of their top guys is Colorado. Like, you don't want Nikushkin or McKinnon or Rantanen going down, because that'll leave a bit of a void. And it's like if Kucherov or Point go down, that's going to leave a bit.
Nugent Hopkins is playing on the third line according to Daily Faceoff with Henrique and Corey Perry. Yeah, your top line is Kane, McDavid, Hyman. Then they have McLeod, Draisaitl, Fogle, Nugent Hopkins, Henrique Perry, then Janmark, Carrick, and Brown. But I've heard Carrick's been a scratch for them a couple of times too, so they must have somebody else they bring in. Again, I know we're terrible about that stuff sometimes, but we'll always try to get you the best information just based on what we've been seeing. I'll say this: I haven't watched as much Oilers as you guys have, just because I know you guys are going to watch them, so I feel like it's the one game I can maybe not watch and focus on some other ones. But when I have watched him, I haven't noticed him a lot, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. And this is in Nugent Hopkins I'm talking about. he's still a really good penalty killer and face-off guy. Like, that's an important guy. They don't want to be out. Montreal's going on the power play. They're down 2-0 still. And just to give you guys a quick update on the scores, I think I have all the scores updated in the ticker below. But Ducks have scored on the Blackhawks. They don't have the goal up yet of who scored it. It may be being reviewed if they didn't put a person in there. But it looks like I'm not watching that game, Ducks Blackhawks. But it looks like the Ducks have scored. And you guys were on the Ducks. I think Rico was on the Ducks because he had a pretty nice diatribe. What?
I was on the over, and now the Oilers just scored again. Son of a bitch.
Okay, so is that 5-3?
Yeah.
Oh, good God. Yeah, Ekholm. That was bad transition D. That's probably going to be the nail in the coffin for the Buffalo Sabres, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For their playoff chances. So kind of a bummer. I would have liked to seen them stay in. It's just exciting when you have more teams that are kind of in the mix. But I don't know. Every time we say it, like, they're out. Okay. Yeah, Sharks and Lightning are tied up. Nick Paul and William Eklund are your we haven't seen our William Eklund enthusiast in a while. Our Chicago
I got talked out of the freaking I got talked out of my Edmonton pick last night, and I ended up taking Buffalo in this game.
Yeah,
Buffalo
looked good. I mean, they had 3 leads in this game. Like,
I know, and that
really
Darlene offside play would have put them up 2-0 earlier in the game, and that would have given them some solid momentum.
Yeah. Again, man, I would love to see it just go away. It just kills the momentum of the game. It kills the fans' interaction with the game. Hockey is great because it goes. I've watched like 10 minutes of the NCAA, but in real time, I've watched 35 seconds. It takes 25 minutes to get through 35 seconds of a basketball game now at the end of the game, and it loses all its excitement to me.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Would you rather move the blue line closer to the net, closer to the center ice, or just get rid of the fucking blue line? Well,
I mean, I don't want to get rid of the blue line because I don't want to see cherry picking, but I don't know, man. Like, just go back to letting the guy call it. If it's egregious, it's egregious. Like, I like the fact you can, but I mean, to me, they should just make it, if you were on the blue line, you're on sides. If the puck is on the blue line, you're on sides. And maybe widen it a little bit. I don't know. It just doesn't, it doesn't need to be reviewed, man. It's just awful. Like, again, they can review it, but let it be like, okay, if the guy is 6 inches off sides, how big a deal is it? You know, if he's 10 feet off sides, it's a huge deal. But if it's
I don't even know why we're talking about this. You've got the technology. If it's offside, the buzzer goes off. It's offside.
We talked about this last night too.
It's like the easiest thing in the world to do here. Like,
I don't want to go down this road again. Let's just keep talking about the games we wanted to talk about. The next game, Panthers Rangers. I think the Rangers are going to have Shesterkin. I think this is a super important game for the Rangers to say, hey, we're here. I think they're still trying to get the number 1 seed in the East, which they're in an absolute battle with the Carolina Hurricanes right now. So, and Boston has more points than both of them. So, where do you come out on this game? Go ahead, Pearlo. You can kick it off.
I don't know how I didn't notice this. Even more reason I should have been on Nashville, because this was a look ahead game for Florida. Like, oh man, sometimes you look at you go over everything and you miss the obvious sometimes. But Florida's going to come out balls out here, and I think if Florida really, 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 really wants to beat any team in the NHL right now, they will. I'm taking Florida.
All right.
Yeah,
Rico.
Yeah, I mean, Florida, like I said earlier, they got a losing record at home. They're probably one of the best road teams in the league, but without Barkov and without Ekblad, there's a reason why Florida's lost 3 in a row too. Like these guys are banged up, and taking those guys out of the lineup's huge. I mean, Trouba and Lindgren have been gone out of the Rangers lineup, and that's huge on their back end too. Like that was a huge gutsy win in Boston tonight. I mean, both teams are on regular rest. I mean, this is a tough one to call. I'll probably go with the draw just because of Bobrovsky and Shesterkin. As far as picking a side, if whoever is going to give me plus money, you probably might get it with the Panthers here. I don't think the Panthers will be favored on the road in this game. So it'll be a toss-up. It's like the Rangers in Boston tonight. Like I know Sammy McKee on the show today said that in game time. He's like, I'll take the Rangers at plus 30 just because one of the best teams in the East are giving you that kind of price. I mean, make a smaller bet on that play, and instead of a larger bet on the Boston play, you're going to make the same amount of money, and that game could have won either way, and so could this one. So I'll probably lean the Panthers there just because they lost 3 in a row. They'll probably come out firing on a Saturday night. Kachuk will probably light it up a little bit too just because he likes a big stage. So I'll probably take Florida there, but missing Barkov's huge, but also Trouba and Lindgren out is huge too.
All right, the final game I want to talk to on Saturday, Lightning's Kings. I just think that's still important for those both teams. Lightning been playing pretty good. Kings not great at home. How do you guys like this one?
Weird spot because, I mean, this will be 3 games in 4 nights, I think, for Tampa on the road because they're playing in San Jose tonight.
Yeah, so, that's all tied up, by the way.
Yeah, and, I mean, LA looked awesome in their last game against Minnesota, and that was a game where Minnesota either didn't show up, which they didn't, but that was a little of the Kings finding their game as well, too, and Dave Rittich having a big game. So this will be Talbot in net. Yeah, I mean, I think the Kings there, just the way they were playing, just the way I saw LA, but I mean, Tampa went into Vegas and beat Vegas too. So, I mean, I'm having a hard time picking this game right now. I mean, this is the last game at home before going on a road trip for LA too. So sometimes the boys have plans. They're going to Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg. So they're doing that trip after this game. So I'll probably go with the sneaky Lightning to win this game, but I can't imagine a shootout just because of 3 games in 4 nights for Tampa, and LA knows they're going on a Western Canadian road trip after this, so I don't think they want to get in a track meet in this game. I don't know 100% on the side here. I mean, the side says LA, but I'll probably take the Lightning in this spot. Yeah, this is a hard game to call, man. Tampa's won 4 in a row. And I gotta wait till this game's done against San Jose too, because I don't think Tampa's gonna light the lamp against San Jose tonight. I love Duclair props all over the board because of his former team tonight. So that's what I'm looking forward to as far as Tampa.
Yeah, I love that Duclair goal scoring prop against
all over. Duclair power play over 1.5 points.
Yeah.
Duclair assist. Duclair goal, and then he's playing on the first line tonight.
Yeah, dude, he's been good for them, man. Yeah, and he's got some speed still. Yeah, Pearlo, what do you think of this Lightning Kings game?
Well, it like if they happen to lose to San Jose here, then
Blackwood's back too tonight.
You got to kind of lean to Tampa. Because I mean they got to be some kind of pissed if they lose to San Jose, but LA's got it's had a lot of rest. I think it's going to be a tight game. So if we can get 6.5, that'd be freaking lovely. I would go under. I would take an under. I think that's where I would go before I would take if I'm usually grappling with who's going to win a game, because I think it's going to be that kind of tight game. It usually means it's going to be a low scoring one,
or a draw.
Why I'm grappling.
I'm totally with you, Pearlo.
Or a draw. Yeah, I like the under on that. Yeah.
3 games in 4 nights for Tampa. LA's heading out on a road trip after. and they're
And
not
LA
going to want to
looked,
run
I
it.
mean, LA looked straight dominant yesterday against the Minnesota Wild. Like, I just felt bad for Minnesota in the end. 6-0 drubbing. Like, they couldn't even get a pity goal. You know, like, I felt like the Islanders got 2 pity goals, 3 pity goals tonight. Two pity goals, right, against the Red Wings. Rico, don't you feel like it was like, oh, I got a couple pity goals? Like, the Red Wings kind of took their foot off the gas.
Yeah, and this is a front end of a back-to-back. Well, yeah, they're going to Anaheim, like across the highway the next day, Tampa. So I don't know if they're going to go full balls out 3 games in 4 nights because they got Tampa the next, or they got Anaheim next day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep.
Tampa has a day spread out between each game. But
yeah, I mean, that's not a bad. Those California road trips, sometimes you have a back-to-back, but I figured they'd have a day between. Anyway, that's not a bad trip, dude. That's a 40-minute flight from LA to San Jose. Okay, so that's kind of the end of Saturday. Just a couple games I wanted to highlight on Sunday. Jets, Caps. I feel like that's a huge game for the Capitals. Still, they're in the mix. Jets, they dolly-whopped them the last time they played them. Maple Leafs, Hurricanes, that's one I'd really like to talk about. We do have the Flyers, Panthers, but I think no. I think I just want to talk about those 2 games. Maple Leafs, Hurricanes. Devils, Islanders is kind of a game, but I think the Islanders are done, guys. Like, I just feel like there's nothing to watch the Islanders for. And in fact, I expect the Devils to win that game. So Jets, Caps, I think is an interesting one.
Yeah, I like the Hurricanes there. I like Carolina. They play man-to-man. They can match up at home, especially against the Leafs. The Leafs top guys will have a hard time in Carolina in that game. So I'll take the Hurricanes on a Sunday there.
Yeah, I mean, Ovi just tied Ryan Strome for the most goals for the Caps, by the way. So he's now leading. He's led, I think, 19 years in a row, the Caps. So or 18 or whatever. He's led just about every year he's been the Capitals captain. So
anytime we're talking about Ovi and playoff chances around playoff time, like if Washington was last in the league right now, I'd hate it because Ovechkin, wouldn't be talked about so much. And now people are talking about Washington and they're a great story. And I mean, it's good. It's good, man. I love it when Washington's in the playoff hunt just as much as I like Pittsburgh in the playoff hunt, but they're not quite there. But it's nice to see the star players being relevant. And
I think a lot of us aren't surprised about Pittsburgh because we kind of all thought, oh, what does it mean? But I mean, I know we've said Ottawa's the most disappointing season, but you got to throw Pittsburgh up there as pretty disappointing. You'd like just seeing them be in the mix. They're basically a non-factor. And by the way, they play Sunday. They play the Avs. So, yeah, the Avs at home. I'm taking 2.5 points on Nathan McKinnon in that game. Pearlo, give us quick thoughts on Jets, Capitals, and then we'll finish the night on Maple Leafs, Hurricanes.
That's a tough spot for the Capitals. They've been playing a lot of freaking hockey, but they're fighting for their playoff lives, and Winnipeg's sort of setting a spot now. It's possible Washington could pull that one off. I wouldn't be surprised. Winnipeg. This feels like a road trip where Winnipeg is kind of almost taking it a little bit on the easier side. They've been playing hard all year long, and it kind of feels like a road break a little bit. They're probably hanging out with each other, doing a lot of golfing. I think Bonus is giving them like, hey, you guys want to do whatever you want on this road trip, you go ahead and do it. You deserve it. That's how I feel on Winnipeg on this road trip. So they're sort of my sell team. So I would probably take
Connor Garland getting a little chippy. That's a mismatch. Oh, wow. Connor Garland's like 5'9" or something.
Yeah, he's got balls though.
So the Winnipeg Jets are tied in points with Colorado. So, and they are only 1 point behind Vancouver. So if Vancouver wins this game tonight, they'll be 2 they'll be 3 points behind them for the top spot in the Western Conference. So I feel like Winnipeg has something to play for here. The Caps do, but the Winnipeg does too, I think. Just to kind of,
I don't think so. I don't think they care if they go ahead of Colorado so much. It depends on the value of what you're doing.
Is it a better matchup?
So hard. Yeah, but they've been playing so hard in the regular season.
No, but is it a better matchup for Winnipeg, Pearlo, to play like Dallas if Colorado passes, and then let's say Colorado's the second seed? That means they'll play the second wild card, which would be Nashville.
Yeah, but you got to look at the value. They haven't. Winnipeg isn't a team that's had a rest all year. They have gone balls out all year long, and I think to continue asking them to go balls out like they have been, it doesn't matter who you play in the playoffs, you're probably going to fade. So I think bonus here is probably going to.
Oh, you like the Caps in this game then, big time.
I like the Caps. I do because the Caps. On the other hand, they need this so hard, and they're such a big team. And Edmonton just scored, and I hate my team.
6-3 in that game. I'll update.
Thanks, Pearlo. I had the Oilers last night. You said they're looking forward to the Leafs.
Okay, real quick.
Damn it.
Pearlo. Speaking of the Leafs. Canes Leafs, that's the last game of the night. And Rico, I know you already kind of gave your thoughts on that one, so we'll go right into final thoughts. Who do you like, Pearlo, Leafs or Canes? It's in Toronto as well, right?
Canes. I like the Canes.
It's a back-to-back for Toronto, too. I think it's a back-to-back for the Canes. Is it not?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If Canes are going to outskate them all over the ice, I'll take the Canes. But I'm so mad about this freaking game. Anyways.
Okay. Well, let's go final thoughts. We're going to be back Monday. We appreciate guys. We had like almost 50 people between Instagram, Twitter, and
really?
YouTube.
Wow.
I don't see the numbers, but really appreciate everybody coming out. It's a testament to all the content you guys were trying to get out there. Looks like Vancouver's going to be killing a penalty. They're still up 2-0. There's a couple of games left on. That Vegas game is very good. It's very close. So that's 1-0. Seattle is down to the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a big game for Vegas, so I think they need to win this game. I want everybody to have a great night. And Pearlo, what's your final thoughts?
I hate the Oilers. They're my team, and I can't freaking get them right no matter what I do. And I really feel bad because I took Rico off the freaking Oilers last night, and I really thought Buffalo was going to come correct a little more. Man, I sold them so short. I'll tell you, like, this Oilers team, when they want to take over a game, they take over a game. There's Colorado and the Oilers.
This is a microcosm of Buffalo's season too. This game, honestly, they started good.
But Colorado and the Oilers in the West right now, to me, look like the two most powerful teams. That's what I have to say about that. They look like they're the two that I think are the teams to beat in the West now after all of this. But then Vegas will come out and they got a genius group working behind them, and all of a sudden they'll come into the playoffs and look like they're like taking over the world. But if you're looking at, to me in the West, the two teams that look like they could take on anybody right now would be Edmonton and Colorado.
Yeah, and Colorado just beat Edmonton. Rico, give us your final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's known hockey for a while, you know when the playoffs start and you start looking up and down at the lineups. And the playoff teams and cup-winning teams, a lot of times, more often than not, are built from the goaltender to the defenseman to the forwards. A goaltender out is what they call it. You got a team like the Nashville Predators. You got UC Saros, Roman Josi, bam, bam. Then you got Ryan McDonough, cup winner there. They're built from the goaltender defense out. And then you got a team like the Leafs, which scares us and does the same thing every year. They're built from the top down. the best guys are on forward and then defenseman and then goalie. So, I mean, when you get into the playoffs, don't forget to throw a couple bucks on the Nashville Predators. That's one of my final thoughts. But for anybody new that doesn't know the game and like wants to learn the game, hockey is a fast-paced sport played on ice where two teams compete to score goals by hitting a puck in the opposing team's net using sticks. Players skate swiftly across the ice, passing the puck and strategizing outmaneuver their opponents. It's a thrilling game of skill, teamwork, and intense action, often accompanied by the thunderous roar of enthusiastic fans. That was Tom Green at like 12:30 last night. So I think he's trying to grow the game as well too. So that's my final thought. I find that funny. All of a sudden, Tom Green just wrote this thing on Twitter.
Big Ottawa Senators fan, that Tom Green.
Good for you.
You
Tom
know what?
Green.
He did. What's weird is the year the Caps won the Cup, he did like intro stuff for them or something. And
did he?
Yeah, and so it was crazy. So I always think of Tom Green as good luck. Yeah. Anyway, yep. Oilers are up 6-3. I'm not updating the score. Oh, I did update the score. Vancouver's still up 2-0, and the other game going is the Vegas. Vegas is 1-0. Did I say that? Yes, I did. Yep, they're still up 1-0. The second period should be starting momentarily. Ducks up 2-0 now. Rico, you had that yesterday.
Love
they
the
got
Ducks.
Mollywopped by the Blackhawks to, like you said, they were going to play good. If you had the under, you're looking good in that one because that one's already almost 2/3 of the way through. As I said, Canucks were up 2-0, and the Lightning and Sharks are still tied, and that's a lot of game left there. 18. I appreciate everybody coming out, and we will see you. We were able to stay on Instagram, so they're giving us a little bit more time, which is pretty dolla. All right, pretty holla. We'll see you later, everybody. Thanks. Appreciate you.